50-60 for the Nifty, so that's doing okay. Just that the market breadth has come off a little bit, so keep an eye out on the broader market and how that trends. Sugar is beginning to make an up move. Faces like Renuka and Bajaj Hindustan have both moved up about 2% or so, and the big star remains KPIT Cummins, up more than 8%. More than the numbers, I think it's the 1-for-1 bonus that the company has announced yesterday. That's probably what's got sentiment fired up. But let's talk a bit more about numbers. DB Corp reported their results as well. Girish Agarwaal joins in to talk about that. Girish, morning. You've seen some year-on-year growth on your ad revenue front. What exactly was the experience quarter-on-quarter, and which industry verticals led the ad growth that you saw?
See, in the December quarter, our ad growth has come around 9%, and the major growth has come from automobile, electronics, and the lifestyle segment.
Morning, Girish. Your margins have come off quite a bit in the current quarter. Can you just take us through why margins have come under pressure, for which your PAT has also drifted down year on year quite significantly?
See, if you look at my EBITDA margin for the mature editions, we are around 34% EBITDA margin, which is pretty good and as per our expectations. Overall, we are at around 26% EBITDA margin. This includes the losses which we are incurring, the investment which we are doing in the state of Maharashtra and Jharkhand. So if you compare my mature editions, the EBITDA margin is around 34%, which is pretty good in the given scenario.
So by when do you see the impact from the new editions sort of evening out, leading you back to 30% plus overall blended margins?
See, if the advertising, for example, this quarter where growth is 9%, if the advertising goes up back to the double digit, strong double digit, then this EBITDA margin of 30% plus is very much doable.
Raw material costs are hurting as well, Girish. Any leeway in terms of whether you can up circulation revenues, or if you can do something on pricing in order to improve the margin performance?
See, if you see the quarter to quarter, newsprint cost has gone up by only 2%. So we assume that now this is kind of stabilized at this number. Whatever the impact is coming is because of the dollar moving up. So that 35%, which is an important component for our newsprint, that is still hurting a bit on the dollar's price. And overall, if you look at the growth which we have taken from the newsprint revenue, circulation revenue, is also pretty strong, around almost 16%. In some places, we have been able to increase the cover price, and there has been a circulation growth of almost 4 lakh copies over a period of 9 months.
Some of the states where you circulate, Girish, are going to polls come January and February. What is the experience usually in such phases in terms of whether it bumps up ad revenue growth or otherwise for you?
Frankly speaking, nothing much, because whatever the advertising revenue, like Punjab is one state where we are in, whatever comes from the election revenue, that much the government revenue goes down and other revenue goes down, because most of the private sector keeps holding on to their investment because of the new government or whatever happens. So I don't think election anymore is a big spike at all in any advertising revenue.
Can you give us an update on how the new editions are doing in terms of circulation, and whether ad revenues are beginning to get some traction?
I think the response which we have got from Maharashtra and Jharkhand is phenomenal, and that has encouraged us to launch our 5th edition in Maharashtra. We already have 4 editions, which is Aurangabad, Nasik, Jalgaon, Ahmednagar. Now we have decided to launch Sholapur by around April this year itself, and the advertising has really picked up very well. In fact, more than our expectations in Maharashtra. Jharkhand, the circulation numbers is pretty strong. Advertising is yet to flow into our expectations because the market is slightly smaller and slightly laid back to really bounce back on that.
Good luck, Girish. Thanks very much for giving us that update. That stock has moved up today. DB Corp now up 4.5% at 192. So good reaction to the results. Karnataka Bank is up next. P. Jairam Bhatt, Managing Director of the bank, is with us. Mr. Bhatt, good morning. Let me start with your asset quality. And you've got plans of or targets of lowering the net NPA level to 1.5% to 1.75%. With what happened in the current quarter, do you think you're on target for doing that?
Yeah, this as far as asset quality is concerned, these accounts are old accounts, which we are in the process of recovery. We're in the final stages. In fact, we were expecting this recovery in this third quarter, but it has slipped into the fourth quarter now. In the fourth quarter, we are expecting a total recovery of around 150 to 200 crores. That's how I have projected my NPA at around 1.75%, and also gross NPA, which is at 4% now. I am trying to see that it comes within 2.75%.
From which category primarily, Mr. Bhatt, have these bad loans occurred?
Yeah, these are in export sector, like in basmati rice exports, and then some diamond sector we suffered, and also some in the garment exports. These are likely to be recovered in this fourth quarter.
You've been quite aggressive on retail advances this quarter, Mr. Bhatt. What is the target for the full year for your bank in terms of advances, and what that would mean for your net interest income?
I have kept a target of 25% growth in advances, and as of third quarter, the year-on-year growth was 21%, and we hope to maintain around 22% year-on-year growth in the advances. And also in the retail sector, we are growing at a average growth rate of around 30 to 35%. We want to maintain around 35 to 40% growth in the retail sector.
You think you can grow at this kind of, your credit at this kind of rates without impairing or endangering asset quality, Mr. Bhatt?
Yeah, we can grow not at 25, we can grow at around 20 to 21%. And really, there are good credit growth in the retail sector. There I can sustain the growth of around 35%.
Thanks for joining in today. That's the Managing Director of Karnataka Bank. We'll slip into a break now. Markets are quiet with just about an hour to go for the policy. We will discuss the policy in great detail when we come back after the break.
Open Exchange brought to you by Binani Cement for generations to come. Sarah, style now things out of the box. Amul.